taking the victory lap here with our boy Big T. Massive takedown PGA last night. Shipped and Millie.
The Twins got the job done for our boy Hoop. Won him $100K. Won him a live final seat.
JSU shipped $200K on, I think, just $1,000 worth of entries. He had a monster night.
Anytime we see members crush like this, we're excited.
Last night, one of our most loyal subscribers from the beginning, Jay Love, took down $20K.
I want to give a shout out to Redmen, who won over $50,000 on opening day.
Blind Bandit took down the $100,000 top prize.
We had someone win a live final seat.
It was one of those days where it's like going 5x or 10x on your money. It wasn't enough to get enough love in the Discord.
Record 62 took down the Millie Maker.
I don't even know if this heater's ever going to end.
Some of these other sites are just boring you to death.
I like how other sites nickel and dime you for every penny they can get.
Tons of the members have given tickets and membership on their own. Like, we're not telling them to do that. They're just doing it for good mojo.
You love to see it. We love the good mojo. And
the mojo is what the mojo is.
I give you credit for still having that happen. We appreciate it.
Wait till we ship tonight. I might never take it off.
Good afternoon and good morning. What is up? I got G Risen here today. He woke up early. DC just popping in. I'm in for Joey Works. You got a much better show today without him. Especially, he blew off the bet show yesterday after he lost a bowling bet to JJ. And now he blew off this show knowing that he blew off the two shows he knew I was going to be on. But maybe he'll show up now that I've baited him into it. Good morning, G Risen. We got a lot of stuff going on today. We're going to do this show. We got a ton of members winning a ton of money we got to tell you about. Like and subscribe to the video. G Risen, 4 days from the NFL, 7-game baseball slate today, and your backyard smells. How you doing?
It does too. Woo! You open up that back door and you just get the whiff. But anyways, yeah, exciting week. We got football this week. Don't we get to do a wishbone pod this week? We get to talk some shit to the hot one of the hottest guys at RPS. No. Uncle T's just been on fire lately. So I think he shipped a bunch of loot in NASCAR last night. So yeah, good times. We're going to break down this baseball slate. It kind of feels like a Sunday to me. It's kind of fun. Looks like might have to have some beers and do a little chores around the house and peek at the baseball all day. Should be a good time.
All right. Very good. I like it. Also, speaking of the wishbone, we're going to be taping right after the Thursday night football game. So Fridays, you'll get me, G Risen, Uncle T, bullshitting and talking about the NFL. And at 2:00 Eastern today, the schedule release, you will learn the new old person that is going to join us on that podcast. You'll learn our whole schedule. I'm interested in learning when G Risen and DC are working. I'm interested in learning when I'm working. Me and Big T, 2:00 Eastern today. Hello, DC. Were you also planning to work today, or did JSU wake you up too?
No. I figured, I didn't check till yesterday. I knew I had a free day, if you will, whether I'm on the show or not. I figured I'd be on here on Monday morning. I did. I figured they'd sign me up for this show. And here I am. No worries, though. Happy to have day baseball. Happy it's a holiday. And you know what? We'll get all this content done, do the show, and we'll have the day free, right? To do as we please. So no complaints from me here.
What'd you do yesterday? Anything fun?
I went shoe shopping, got some new running shoes, so that was cool. But no, I can't really think of anything else. Watch some TV,
I mean, Holden, we got to give DC a little credit. I mean, from the beginning of baseball till now, I mean, he's been in like triathlete workout mode.
Yeah, he's looking svelte.
Damn, yeah, he's looking at all.
I just got back from a 7-mile run this morning, so
it looks like you're only like half the size you used to be. Shit, I need to start doing that shit at my fat belly.
Yeah, got a ways to go still. I'll tell you that much.
You're a little mini me over there, DC. So listen, we're going to talk some baseball here in a couple of minutes, free winners. But I want to remind everybody, football in 4 days, RPS NFL 15. That promo code is going to get you 15% off monthly subs for life. And it's gone once the NFL starts. So you better get in there right now. Tons of NFL content coming. The code only works until the NFL starts. So RPS NFL 15 is the promo code for that. We'll be giving away Coors today. So not the beer, the actual Coors for baseball. And if you've been hammering the Coors here, not just for baseball, get NASCAR. We got winners, man. And it's pretty impressive because last night, let's go show these winners. Pumacom, Uncle T, getting hot before the wishbone starts. $16,000 in NASCAR. 16,000. Coop must have helped him out on that one. That's a huge hit. G Rising, this is his second big hit. He's won over like 20K in the last week. I know he's like three times nephew, but he doesn't know
Three times in 8 days. Three times in 8 days, Mr. Uncle T has been in the winner's circle. So, yeah, he's had a hell of a week. So, you know what? You got to ride that heater. You know, I was talking to Big T about it before he actually shipped that yesterday. And he's like, I got to get Uncle T to start bumping up his play a little bit. He's on a heater. And I'd be damned that afternoon he ships NASCAR. So, hey, Uncle T, go for it today, man. Go for it.
And then there's actual subscribers that won. College football. Bruce does a great job over there. A whole bunch of guys and ladies. BJMN, 23K or 23, $7,500 in college football. That would be 7.5K. 7.5K college football. M. Westlake, one of our favorites over here. M. Westlake, $1,000 in college football. So it's not just baseball winners and NFL winners. You get our college football guys are ridiculous too. Snyder, our guy Snyder, or Schneider, as Uncle T calls him, 2,500 college football. Twerich, 12K. Relay 20, 50K. Twerich with 12K. That's pretty nice. And Relay 20 with a $50,000 hit. Absolutely ridiculous. I love it. So we're still going to give you the baseball. We're still going to give you the NASCAR. We're still going to give you the college football. And now you get NFL, RPS NFL 15. DC, let's get it right into this now that we gave our spiel. Hit the like button. If we get 700 today, we'll all take our shirts off. Let's do this. Just 7 games, DC. So we're looking here. The top shelf pitchers, Wheeler, Sale, Woodruff, Gray. I don't know if you would throw anybody else into that mix, but what are you doing with the top 4? Is there a guy you're taking out? And then let's hear your number 1 and the rest of your pool.
Yeah, I think that's that's the top 4 price pitchers, but I also think it would be at least kind of hard for me to make a case for anybody else being in that tier with those guys. So I think the pricing, they kind of got it right on DraftKings, at least for the most part. We've seen Sale did struggle a little bit last time out against the same Tampa Bay team. Still got through 6 innings with just 3 strikeouts. Did get up to 95 pitches there. So I think he's in play, but he would be, I have him 4th, or I think 3rd among this group. I have Wheeler 4th, just hasn't looked quite the same recently. Do we have that Milwaukee lineup yet? I think we do. No, not yet. So we'll see what that lineup looks like. It was a little bit watered down yesterday. But I have Sonny Gray and Woodruff here, 1, 2. I think it's very close between those 2 guys. Gray is just a matchup. I mean, Chicago, their bats have kind of come to life over the last week or so, at least with the power. But, man, the strikeouts are still there, and that's kind of Sonny Gray's expertise, right? He's not a guy that goes super deep into games. He's a guy that can rack up a lot of strikeouts. So I think his upside is high. You do get a little bit of a discount for him at 9K on DraftKings. I could see 8, 9, 10 strikeouts here for Sonny Gray pretty easily. And then Brandon Woodruff, I think, is very, very safe. 9,600 at home. Just been, kind of a rock all season. Maybe not quite the upside of, if you're just just game log watching, he hasn't gotten over 30 points just one time in the last 10 starts. So, I don't think he's going to give you 30 to 40 here probably, but I do think he's got a pretty good chance to be the SP1. I don't, Gray and Woodruff, maybe they get 25, 30. I think those will be the high pitcher scores on the slate on DraftKings. So I do think it'll be a slate where offense kind of carries the day, and, you hope to get 40 points out of your pitchers And I think you'll be set up to compete in GPPs, cash games, all that, if you can get that many. So Woodruff, Gray, I think give you the best chance, but Sale and Wheeler, I think are pretty good options too, depending on that Milwaukee lineup.
What about FanDuel, G Rison? How many guys are you considering today as your pitcher on FanDuel?
I actually am only going to use 3 guys today. I'm pretty close to what DC was saying. I have Woodruff number 1 just because of the matchup of the 3. I mean, for the 3 top price guys, Sale, Woodruff, and Wheeler, I'm going to just cross off Wheeler for now. He's just been getting beat up too much for me lately. I'm just the recency bias. I'm off. But Sale for me, I just don't like the matchup with the Rays. And I mean, they stretched him out to 95 pitches last game. But the Rays are just so patient. I'm not interested with that. I think they're going to run up his pitch count pretty early. And Woodruff, though, I think is the safest. I think he has probably the highest ceiling. But I do agree with DC about Sonny Gray. I think Sonny Gray has a really good matchup. I do like that matchup. And then also I like Tarek Skubal too on FanDuel for the Tigers against the Pirates. Pirates are one of the worst teams hitting against lefties. Tarek Skubal does have upside to get, 7 to 10 Ks possibly on the high end. So for the price, I'm going to rank him Woodruff 1, Gray 2, Skubal 3, and then I'd probably go Sale and then Wheeler.
So let's talk about Skubal for a second. Coming off a rough one, he was going 6 innings. Now he's going 5 innings. Is there a pitch count there? Is there anything to worry about with Skubal?
I think they're going to let him go for the most part. I mean, 97 pitches in his last start. Like you said, it wasn't the best outing, but still 6 strikeouts against Oakland. That was a relatively tough matchup there. He's been a high strikeout guy all season long, really. It's just the home runs have got to him, but I mean, this is a great park to limit home runs and a great matchup for it too, right? Pittsburgh, one of the hardest parks to go deep for a right-handed hitter in particular. And then, I mean, who on Pittsburgh really has a lot of power from the right side anyway? You're looking at, I mean, Brian Reynolds, it's like Brian Hayes, a little bit of power, but just not a lot of threats there to Skubal. So I think as long as he can throw strikes, I think that the strikeouts could be there. G Rison, you said you had it Woodruff, Gray, Skubal, you're 1, 2, 3. Actually, yeah, I have the same ranking in the playbook that's up on the site right now for premium subscribers. So yeah, I have those same 3 guys. And if you need the discount, $7,800 for Skubal on DraftKings, I think is a good way to go. Certainly you can upgrade a batter too. That's kind of easy to do on this slate. It is a slate where you'll be, struggling a little bit, I think, for salary, where any savings you can get at any position is worthwhile. So I'm in on Skubal. It's kind of those top 4 for me. You excluded Wheeler. I think that's fine. I listed 6 pitchers. I listed Chris Sale 6th, and then the only other guy that I'm even considering, and it's just as a kind of a complete punt if you want to stack up, a super expensive stack, or you want to get all the bats, whatever it is, Zach Lothar I think that's how you pronounce his name, for the Baltimore Orioles, rookie lefty. Looks like he's got a little bit of strikeout upside. He's stretched out pretty well, and he's the cheapest pitcher available on DraftKings. Gets the Royals, right? I don't love the matchup. I actually have the Royals as my number 1 stack, but I would be willing to punt with Zach Lothar if you want to get a little bit different. But that's pretty much it for me. Most of these pitchers I'm not considering at all.
We just got the Brewers lineup, if you're interested in that. Yelich is back.
Okay, Yelich and Wong in there. Okay, so that's not a good – tough lineup for Wheeler there, where I would kind of fully scratch him off, I would say, at this point.
You back off a little bit.
This is the most expensive pitcher. I just think
I would say, though, between the 2 sites, I think Skubal is going to be pretty popular on DK as the SP2. He'd probably be the most popular pitcher, one of the most popular pitchers on DK. But on FanDuel, I think you get a little discount where I think Woodruff and Sale are going to get some ownership. But I think Woodruff will probably be the highest owned pitcher. And then I think Sonny Gray will come in there too. But I think you'll get a lot more bigger discount of ownership for Skubal on FanDuel than you will on DK.
That's interesting. Okay. All right. Very good. Let me see here. A couple things that are going on. Like button would be the first thing. We're doing this for free for you on a holiday. So be nice to us. We'd love that. There's a couple things I need to get out there. First of all, RPS NFL 25. We're here. Like, once NFL starts, you don't get the 15% off for life anymore. So you might as well do it right now. Suck it up. Go invest a little money so you can win some money during the NFL season. RPS NFL 15 promo code gets you 15% off monthly subscription for life. And we still have best ball. I don't know if you knew this or not, but we still got best ball season, and you can use the promo code RUNPURE on Underdog for a $25 deposit bonus on your first deposit. And we got best ball shows too. So I know Simon does a great job with that behind the scenes. Once you're a member, check this stuff out. Best ball content's really good too. And excited about that. Let's get back to the baseball side thing. Who was the one? Which one of you just said? I think it was DC, the Royals, right? So before we get into anything, can you just talk to me about the Royals offense today and what it is you love about him, besides for the fact that they're going up against Lillard?
Yeah, I mean, a few things. So massive park upgrade for them, right? Kansas City, not good, especially for home runs, which is obviously one of the big things that we're chasing in DFS. They go to Baltimore, which is one of the very best parks for home runs. They've got some guys swinging some pretty good bats. Salvador Perez just absolutely on fire. I think he's the top catcher on the slate, with Merrifield swinging it well. And then, they're 4 and 5 hitters, Edward Olivares, Carlos Santana, both guys with some decent pop from the right side, and they're both 3K. So you can get that kind of 1 through 5 stack in a great park, right, at Camden Yards, against a rookie, inexperienced pitcher in Zach Lothar. They all 5 of those guys have the platoon advantage up top. And then you get the horrible Baltimore bullpen behind Lothar, right? So they should realistically have 9 innings of good matchups in a great park is kind of what you're looking at, I think, for the Royals here. So yeah, they make a lot of sense to me. The biggest problem with them usually is they're in, Kauffman Stadium. So even when they kind of, go off for 10 runs, you might only get a couple home runs out of it. But here, I think if they're hitting the ball, if they're squaring up Lothar early, you're going to get 3 or 4 home runs, I bet, out of this Royals lineup, and probably mostly from the top half of it. So yeah, I think they make a lot of sense.
What do you think in particular about Edward Olivares today? You said the top of the lineup. So he's hitting what, cleanup?
Cleanup. Yeah. He's a good hitter. I mean, they've kind of I think he's been called up and sent back down to the minor leagues 6 times this year, something crazy like that. They just, shuttle him up and down based on injuries or whatever, but he's performed pretty well when he's been in there, frankly. So I think he's a very, very strong play today. No question.
That's interesting. Okay. The Royals, your top stack?
They are. Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. G Rising, who's your top stack? And then we'll get into some of the other things. We're going really fast today. I need to slow down.
We're already getting in the top stack. We're not even the first game already. You're skipping ahead there, buddy.
Well, we'll go game by game today. I think that's a great idea. I do want to get your top stack on FanDuel though.
Right now, my top stack on FanDuel is the Mets.
The Mets? All right, explain this to me. Come on, let's go. So obviously, Pete Alonso.
I like all the righties against shitty Patrick Corbin. He can't get a righty out to save his life. So I'll take Villar's been just smashing the ball lately. Pete Alonso is probably going to hit 2 dongs. I like Kevin Pillar. I like Baez. I like all the righties for the Mets today. So I do like the Mets.
What do you think about that, DC? Little Mets action?
Yeah. Me and G Rising are we didn't talk before the slate, but we are kind of right on it because I have the Royals number 1. I have the Mets number 2. It's that type of slate. They've been coming alive. Patrick Corbin's been rocked all season. They get a park upgrade as well going to Nationals, and we've seen this Nationals bullpen. I mean, they don't have anybody in the pen. They don't have any good pitchers. Sometimes you can tell this is the Nationals are a case where you can kind of tell the relative strength of their bullpen by who their closer is, right? They can't even find one good pitcher to be the closer. It's like Finnegan right now, who sucks. So they don't have anybody in the pen. And the Mets have beat this team up. Mets are, it's taken till early September, but this Mets offense is picking it up right now. They're healthy. VR, Lindor, Alonso, Baez is swinging it good. So yeah, I think the Mets have a tremendous amount of upside as well. It's always Corbin does still turn in a good start from time to time, but pretty much every pitcher that makes a start every 5th day does. So you can't be too concerned about that. He's been hit hard more often than not this season.
All right, let's go game by game. We'll start with FanDuel with G Rising, and we'll go to Kansas City, Baltimore. So you heard DC with the Royals. I think you got a little Royals here, a little Royals love. G Rising. They're taking on a kid that doesn't have any experience, And on the other side of things, Baltimore. Like, can you make a case for any Baltimore bats against Chris Bubik?
Actually, I like both sides of this game, and I think a game stack here is definitely in play. I think, I mean, you're only going to get Loader for a couple innings, maybe. I mean, he's only gone 2 innings, 3 innings. So, I mean, you're obviously going to get that Baltimore bullpen for a good portion of this game, which is just absolutely horrible. And then Bubik on the other side isn't very good. Righties, especially in Baltimore, righties against Bubik have just been smashing them. And as we've been saying before, I like using Baltimore against lefties, even some good lefties. I like all the righties they have here. You're probably going to get Mullins, Hayes, Mancini, Santander. I like all those guys. So, I think there's interest for both sides, but I do like the Royals a little bit more. I like the righties here. I mean, Salvador Perez has been smashing the ball. I think he's got like 8 homers in his last 13 games or something ridiculous, like that. So, I mean, he's just been absolutely raking. And then, you got Edward Olivares. He's min price on FanDuel. I think he's going to be pretty popular just because he's min price. But I mean, he makes that stack fairly cheap. So, Whit Merrifield's only 33. Salvador Perez is 35. I mean, the pace that Salvador Perez was on, if his name was Aaron Judge, he'd be 4,800. So, I think Salvador Perez has got a pretty cheap price tag for the way he's been hitting, especially with the matchup he's got in the park. So I really like that. But yeah, I'm with DC. I like the Mets and the Royals, and then I got Baltimore coming in pretty much right behind the Royals. So I got 2 of my top 3 stacks right here in this game. I'm interested in the full game stack, and I've already built 5 teams, and I actually have 2 full game stacks of my 5 with 2 different pitchers.
So let me ask you this, just because you're talking about Salvi, you're talking about the Mets, like if it came down to it, don't worry about anything surrounding it. Salvador Perez or your boy Alonso.
Well,
which way do you go?
Best part is I
same
can
price
FanDuel in the utility, but if I had to choose one, I think I would take Pete Alonso today. It's just that guy's just an animal beast. I mean, we saw it in the home run derby, and Corbin just can't get anybody out, especially from the right side. So I really like that matchup, and the Mets are one of the hottest hitting teams in the major. So I'm just going to keep riding the hot streak.
I didn't think we'd get a home run derby reference in this show. It's been a hot minute since the home run derby, but I like it, G-Rise.
You know what made me happy? My 6-year-old, we're out playing baseball at a baseball field. She says, I want to be in the home run derby someday. And I didn't tell her it probably wasn't going to work out, but it made me feel good, when I brought her to the home run derby, and now she actually likes baseball a little bit. It's amazing what happens when you can.
I'm glad you didn't crush the dreams of your 6-year-old when she said she wanted to be in the home run derby someday.
Yeah, it was a dream of mine.
Thing to do. Yeah,
it was definitely a dream of mine.
You know what? She can get there. I've seen the girls softball hitting homers on one of the channels. I was flipping through. They had a little home run derby. I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but hey, if you were a dad, you sure be proud.
Yeah, I'm proud. No. She's not gonna be big though. Like a big woman, maybe in 20 years, and maybe I don't know.
No, you just got to have them fast hands, man. You got to have some fast hands.
Like button. Well, we're at 114 already with 340 watching. This is actually a little bigger audience than I thought we would. So thanks, guys and ladies. I appreciate it. JSU's ass is finally awake, and he's been awake for a long time because he woke me up. And his core is coming here very soon on DraftKings. So it's kind of like the Death Star in Return of the Jedi. It's kind of built. Well, hopefully it doesn't blow up. RPS NFL 15 promo code, 15% off monthly subscriptions for life. This is done once the NFL starts, though. We're 4 days away. So let's get going. Get in there. 2:00, you will learn all of our content. I'll learn a lot of it too today. So in what is that? An hour and 35 minutes. Big T and I are going to release the schedule every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to have a live show at 2 Eastern. Live show NFL every day, Monday through Friday. We obviously have the Up to Lock stuff on Sunday. We've got the Wood show. I know Big T is going to be on that one. So tons of stuff here. I'm telling you right now, RPS NFL 15 promo code. So what do you got here, DC in this first game that we're going on today with Kansas City and Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, kind of said
everything
Royals
you
top
needed.
stack. Me and G Rising both on that. Yeah, pretty much anyone in the lineup. I mean, I said 1 through 5 initially, but I think I'd probably skip Nicky Lopez there at 4K. Just not enough upside. Maybe go to a guy like Michael Taylor, maybe even Hunter Dozier for 2,600, all the way down at the bottom. He's got some power against lefties. But yeah, I think Royal stack, very good way to go. Like I mentioned, if you're not on the Royals, I do think Zach Lothar has a chance at 5,300 to produce a good point per dollar score. And then, I'm not on the Orioles, but certainly you could make the case for it. They got enough right-handed power. Chris Bubick hasn't been good all year. So I like the Royal side, but this game's a toss-up for a reason. Total set of 10. Certainly it could be the Orioles that do the damage. I like the Royal side better myself.
We got a dude in there telling me to get with the program and get on the Mets today. So I've seen a lot of Corbin this year. He sucks. I have targeted him a ton. My only question is today going to be another one of those days? You mentioned it, DC. Like, he's just popped up with some of these starts and it shocks you. But if you're playing multi-entries, I don't see how you don't go with the Mets.
You can't get too worried about that. I mean, Matt Harvey does it occasionally too. Where you're like, oh, I can't believe I said. It's like, well, the dude has a 7 ERA. Like it works more often than it doesn't. Let's be honest here.
And we get the bullpen too from the Nationals.
Exactly. So yeah, bullpens are so important to target right now. The Nationals bullpen, the Orioles. I mean, there's a bunch of teams, but you don't want to necessarily go up against like the Yankees bullpen, right? Like when they're competing hard here against Toronto and both teams are going to use, and we kind of saw it with the Dodgers and the Giants series where it's just, you're so unlikely to get a, 10 plus run performance, even from a good offense, if the other team's going to use their best relievers out of the pen. And some of these division rival games where both teams are still competing for playoff spots, you're going to get that. You want to target these teams that are just, they traded all any decent relievers they had at the deadline. They shipped them out, right? And now they just calling up minor leaguers, just trying to fit innings, just trying to limp to the end of the season, basically, is what I mean, half the teams in the league are doing right now. Those are the teams that you really want to stack against.
All right. Hi, Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf says, get with the program on the Mets. So let's talk about them, DC. Villar, Lindor.
Yeah.
Do we skip out on Conforto? Alonso, Baez is what G. Rising was talking about. Pilar, McCann. Why would you bother with McNeil? I don't know. You tell me, but what's the optimal stack here for the Mets?
Yeah, I want the right-handers against Corbin. So I would kind of want those guys anyway, right? Those are most of the guys that are swinging it pretty well. Now, Lindor, VR, obviously switch hitters, but I like both of those guys. Baez, I think, is a great play here. He's back hitting again. There's been all this kind of controversy around the Mets, but the offense is coming alive right now. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's on the road because they don't let the play in front of their home fans that they don't like, apparently. But yeah, I like them quite a bit. I mean, I'm leaving it off. You can't play them all. I would exclude Michael Conforto and McNeil, but I mean, Conforto's 3,100 hitting third, so he's not a bad play either. I really don't think this Mets lineup has many bad plays at all once you consider the pricing of the less desirable players in their lineup. They're super cheap. Conforto, Pilar, McNeil, McCann, all those guys are kind of the ones I'm, less excited about, but they're also super cheap. So you can fill out the stack with those guys for sure if you want to.
Okay. I didn't mention the weather coming in here. Straight out to center, 10 to 12 miles an hour for the Yankees and the Blue Jays. We've got 8 to 10 miles an hour blowing out to right center in Boston with the Rays and the Red Sox. And then Tigers Pirates, another one where we've got about 10 mile an hour winds blowing out to center and left center. So we do have some games that get a little bump to the bats here, G Rising, but you've been salivating over the Mets. Let's hear it. But before we do that, do you want any Nationals today? And just one. Is there a one-off you could think of?
This is another game that you could stack up as a game stack. I don't mind the National side at all. I mean, you get Lane Thomas in the one hole with a pretty cheap price, 2,300. Then you can throw in Soto, and then you can go with Josh Bell right after and even throw in Hernandez. So I don't mind really the Nats at all. I think you'd get them pretty low owned. So yeah, I don't mind this as a game stack, but I'm much more in love today with the Mets. I think the Mets are mean, they've just the last week, just been ripping the cover off the ball. And we all know Patrick Corbin, just like we were saying, can't get a righty out. But my favorite play in this game, actually, other than Alonso, who I think is going to smash, I really like Kevin Pillar too. I think some people are going to leave him out. They're not going to go down to the 6. So I actually like the 4, 5, 6, 7 stack. I think that'd be a little different, that if you wanted to get up to like a Woodruff or somebody like that, and maybe throw in some Royals or some Orioles. But yeah, the middle of this Mets lineup for me is where I'm interested in.
Okay, very good. Like button, guys. Let's go. And ladies, good morning. We're hanging out here on a holiday, giving you some free content. So help us out a little bit. We always appreciate that. I got JSU's core up. I got Big T's DK core up. And JSU also threw his FanDuel play out there. And he likes the Mets and the Royals. So it seems like a lot of us here at RPS today, I'm seeing a lot of Mets in these cores, a ton of Mets in these cores, as a matter of fact. And that looks to be the way that our guys are going to be going right now. Let's move on to the next game. Toronto and the Yankees. Like, DC, again, the wind's blowing out, so that's kind of nice. Do we want to mess with Tyone right now, who had a tough start to the season, and then the dude just was on a roll, and now he's gone backwards again? He's given up at least 1 home run in 4 straight games. It is the Toronto offense. I mean, Vlad's in play every week. Who else is in play this week? DraftKings.
I mean, you can always go with the Toronto stack. If I was going to play Toronto, it would be like the full 5-man stack. You hope that they knock Tyone out early, then you don't have to go through some of those good relievers in the Yankees pen. So that would be the approach that I would take if I was going to do it. But on the slate, I think I'll probably pass on the Toronto side. I mean, you kind of see what type of this game is a little bit for Toronto, for the Blue Jays, reflected in the team total, right? It's sitting at 4.4. They've got their best lineup out there. It's in Yankee Stadium. It's 80 degrees. The wind's blowing out to center field. And still you have the Blue Jays with the 4.4 team total. So, you know, we're basing all our recommendations on the Vegas implied totals or anything like that. But this is a situation where you that's the game they expect, right? A lot of Tyone's going to give you as much length as he can, but if he's not going well, they're going to bring in their best relievers to match up as well as possible with the Blue Jays. Tyone also much better against right-handed hitters, and pretty much all the Blue Jays that you would want to roster swing from the right side. I mean, they're 1 through 5, Springer, Semien, Guerrero, Bichette, Hernandez, all swing from the right side. The Blue Jays' best relievers all throw, or the Yankees, most of their best relievers throw from the right side outside of their closer Chapman. So, yeah, I'm not on the Blue Jays here. I like the Yankees better just because I think they have more upside against Ryu. But, yeah, I don't know. Mostly fading this game in general, to be honest.
G. Rising, I feel like you are too. I wonder if there's a one-off we could pick off here. If maybe this is the day that Joey Gallo decides to do so. He had a home run 2 days ago, so that was kind of nice. Obviously, Judge, Stanton, these guys are in the mix. LeMahieu at the top. If you were to play some Yankees today, who would it be? And then break down that Toronto side for us.
As far as the Yankees against Ryu, I'm going to pass. As I've been saying for the last few days, the Yankees just don't have the power during the day. I mean, you take off Gary Sanchez's 2 home runs yesterday, which all their runs came from his 2 shots. He had 6 RBIs from the 9 hole. So if you played a Yankee stack, you really didn't fare too well yesterday. But I just don't like the Yankees during the day. They're the worst slugging team in the majors during the day. And especially with that lineup, I mean, that's just concerning. So I actually like the under in this game, to tell you the truth. It's got over 10. I mean, you got Ryu, who doesn't generally get beat up. I like Ryu today. I wouldn't use him in my player pool, but I'm not going to go against him. And then you got Tyone, like you mentioned. He's so up and down. But the Blue Jays are the Blue Jays. They've been hitting. They get a park upgrade today. They're going into New York. I don't really mind the Blue Jays at all, to tell you the truth. I think, MMEing, I think I definitely have some Blue Jays. I think you're going to get them lower owned than you normally would. But yeah, I mean, they're in a decent park. Tyone could definitely blow up. I mean, this Blue Jays lineup is obviously stacked from top to bottom. I mean, I'm not really a fan of the 8-9 Jansen and Smith, but I mean, you can go all the way from 1 to 7, all the way down to Gurriel. I mean, you even got Dickerson in today. But yeah, I'm not on the Yankees, so I couldn't even really pick a one-off for you here. But I mean, anytime if you wanted to use a one-off, I mean, any one of these guys can hit homers for you. So, I mean, you really can't argue. I mean, really, you look at both sides of the lineup of the 18 guys you have. I mean, you can literally make an argument for 13 or 14 of them have, quite a bit of power. So, but I'm just going to stay away from it today. I'm not a fan.
Okay. Like button. Let's do that. Let's remind you, RPS NFL 15. Let's do that. Sign up, 15% off your monthly subscription. We got best ball content. We got podcasts starting up. DC, are you still doing your baseball podcast once the NFL goes?
No. Yeah, we've concluded the baseball podcast for the season.
We're done.
Pretty much doing the show every day. So yeah, you got my thoughts here if you need them.
Okay, I love it. So we'll still have the up to lock in baseball. Don't worry about that. NBA's coming up, but you're still going to get premium Major League Baseball content. We still have that. The NFL shows every week, 2:00 Eastern, Monday through Friday, every day of the week. There, RPS NFL 15. And then you'll learn about all of our shows, our articles, our podcasts, our everything, our videos coming up 2:00 today. Big T is going to announce that. I'll just sit there with a smile on my face. Tampa Bay and Boston, DC. Tampa Bay and Boston. Do we want to target Chris Sale? Do we want anybody from this Rays offense against Chris Sale? Then we got Yarborough out there. Gosh, you know what? I got to go look at this line too, because the Rays always seem to beat the Red Sox. Just their daddies. They just own them, especially when Cole's on the mound. But Yarborough today, any of these, he had a 2K Taylor Motter leading off for Boston. Are you kidding me? What do you got on this Boston side first, and then any Tampa Bay bats?
Yeah, Boston. You could certainly go here. I mean, Yarbrough, I never really know what to expect from him. I do, if I'm considering rostering him, I'd much prefer him at home. He's in Fenway here. We know the Red Sox rather can do damage. Taylor Motter, clearly a pretty good punt play at the top there, right? 2,100, can play him at first or outfield on DraftKings. I would assume just because of his price point and multi-position eligibility and lineup spot, obviously he'll be one of the more popular players on this slate. So yeah, I mean, if you need the savings, I have no problem with it. I really like Renfroe there, hitting third, smashes lefties. Fenway, he's been on fire. Probably my favorite play in that Boston lineup, but JD Martinez, a good way to go. Bobby Dahlbeck's got power out of the 6 hole. So yeah, I think you can go to the Red Sox here if you want to. The Sale Rays side, I mean, it's just, I don't know what to expect really out of Chris Sale. He's looked good so far for sure after, a little bit of a hiccup in his last start, but scary lineup, right? The Rays can throw out there against lefties now. Arozarena, Wander Franco's been amazing. Nelson Cruz, obviously, we know what he does to lefties. Yandy Diaz is a guy who doesn't strike out much. And then they got, even guys like Jordan Luplow hits lefties well, and he's got some Rays magic sprinkled on him right now, it seems like. So, yeah, if I was going to play the Rays, kind of like the Blue Jays, it would be the full stack, right? You're hoping for a lesser version of Chris Sale today. Maybe you get into that bullpen early and do some damage. The Red Sox have had a ton of COVID issues, so they are a very depleted pitching staff. So if you can knock Chris Sale out of there after 2-3 innings, which I think is possible, because I think you're right. I mean, if the Rays are knocking him around, they're not going to leave Chris Sale out there to bear the brunt of it, right? They're going to get him out of the game, and then you're going to get real bad pitchers out of the bullpen. So I guess the Rays stack is a contrarian way to go. Makes some sense. And I think the Red Sox will be a little contrarian too. So listen, it's Fenway Park, 80 degrees with some humidity. Like, of course, a slugfest could break out here if it gets going early. So I don't hate it.
Yeah. And listen, I'm not a BVP guy, but Nelson Cruz, a 976 OPS, couple home runs and 32 at bats. Kiermaier is hitting 300 with a home run against Sale. Yandy Diaz has hit him pretty hard. I know it's just 9 at bats, but he's hit him pretty hard. Zunino, interestingly, cannot get a hit off. He's 0 for 14 with 8 Ks. That's fascinating. So yeah, that's what we got with the Rays here. I don't know if you want to do anything with the Red Sox. G Rison, anything from this game?
I mean, I was thinking along the same lines as DC there. I mean, if you use the Rays and you do get the Chris Sale, he kind of started out a little bit slow last game. And the Red Sox they're going to leave him out there. He's going to get he's going to probably get mid 80s to the low 90s in pitches. They're going to take him out. I even think if he gives up 4 or 5 runs, they're just going to leave him out there just because of what they're saying with all the COVID issues they've had. So, I mean, that bullpen is really depleted. So if you can get past Chris Sale and maybe get half the game into that Red Sox bullpen, I mean, we like the park. The hitting weather's good. We like the Rays when they're on the road. I think you're going to get them at a really, really low ownership. So, yeah, I don't mind it at all. I mean, you mentioned Nelson Cruz. I've always known in the back of my mind, Nelson Cruz smashes Chris Sale. It's kind of like Miggy smashes him too. So, but you know, I don't have him as a top stack, but I mean, I could see the Rays as being a path that if they go off, they could get you to the top real quick.
I was kind of, talking myself a little bit into the Rays there, right? It makes a lot of sense. Like there's definitely a path there where the Rays crush. You're going to get them super low owned. And, you know, the big thing is if they can get to Sale early, it could get really, really good for them in terms of their matchups later in the game. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe reconsidering over here.
Hold on. Reconsidering the Rays side?
Well, yeah, I wasn't really on them, you know. But I think that makes some sense to that.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm playing one lineup on each side. I love a good 7-game slate, by the way. I think it's kind of juicy. Excited about it.
When you think about it, DC, you're going to get one of the highest scoring offense in the majors with a shitty bullpen. You only got to get by Chris Sale. So,
in a great park, right?
Right. It's just like nobody's gonna go after it, and you'll probably even get a little bit of leverage by playing them against Sale. Who I'm gonna guess
some people will play Sale, no question.
Yeah, it's gonna probably be in the teens, maybe. I'd guess maybe or low 20%. I'm gonna assume.
Yeah, I would think so.
DC, we got 344 watching, 150 likes, about 20 minutes to lock. What do you got for us? How many likes we need?
What are we at right now?
150 with 330 watching on a holiday.
I think we can get to 200 likes.
Think we can get 200? Okay,
yeah, I think
cool.
So.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's get to 200. With that being said, Detroit and Pittsburgh is our next game. We got Willie. We got the wrong Castro in there today, G. Risen. It's a little bit unfortunate with Willie Castro, but they're going up. They got a nice little matchup today. Do your boys with Akil Baddoo leading off against Bryce Wilson, who's given up a pair of home runs in 2 of his last 3 starts. So we'll start with Detroit. And by the way, has anybody seen where's the Orioles lineup? We are 20 minutes away from first pitch. There we go. We got it. Hold on a second. We got the Orioles lineup if you're interested in it, everybody. You interested? Yeah, sure. Mullins, Mountcastle, Hayes, Santander, Jorge Mateo's hitting 5th, McKenna, Jahmai Jones, Gutierrez, and Wins. Boy, this is not a great lineup once you get past Santander today. Oof, that's ugly. All right, G. Risen, back to this. Tigers today against Wilson. What do you got? And then head to the Pittsburgh side, which I don't think you're going to spend too much time on.
Going back to that Baltimore real quick, that lineup's awful. They just rolled out a bad.
Usually, when you don't get the lineup until 20 minutes before lock, it's going to be pretty bad.
Right. I might reconsider pull out a game stack or 2 of that and maybe throw in some Tampa while we're talking. But to go to Detroit and Pittsburgh, you know, I like Skubal, and I did mention that I did hear they're going to start limiting Skubal and Mize's pitch counts, which, you know, until talk is talk, right? Until I actually see it, they have been talking about it. They did let Mize go a little bit yesterday, and then they yanked him more than I thought. But I think if Skubal's rolling, they're going to leave him out. They'll let him get to mid-90s, and then they're going to yank him. I think they're just concerned, you know, Skubal and Mize are two pillars here in the organization. They just don't want to roll them out there and we're getting in a territory where they haven't seen this type of innings, this type of workload before. So, I'm just afraid, you know, if the Tigers get out to a big lead, that could be another problem too. So, you know, they might yank Skubal a little bit early, which could be the case. I think that potentially is there. I don't really like either side of the bats. Bryce Wilson, I'm not really fearful of him. I just don't like the park. I don't like really playing bats in Pittsburgh. As you guys mentioned, it's really tough for righties to hit homers here. If I was looking at some one-offs, you might look at it like a guy like Akil Baddoo. Candelario's been hitting the ball decent, but there's better spots to look at here than
I can't imagine that team total is going to stay at 4.5 at plus money under, because that's brutal down there. Okay. I was just looking at the Orioles again. So did you have anything else you want to say about this game, or we just move on? We got Detroit and Pittsburgh here.
Yeah, I think we can move on. I mean, it's a bad lineup for the Orioles, but still not enough to get me in on Chris Bubick. So
okay. 2 more games to go. Then Woodruff going up against the Phillies. I can't imagine you really want to target that. Wheeler, like Philadelphia, Milwaukee. Tell me, DC, anything there?
I mean, we talked about Wheeler a little bit, just not pitching quite as well. And I don't love this matchup for him. He's got 7 lefties in the lineup, does Wheeler. So that's not ideal. And then Woodruff, someone in the premium chat mentioned possible pitch counts for Woodruff. The Brewers basically kind of have that division locked up, it seems like, the NL Central. So maybe we'll see that. I mean, we've seen Freddie Peralta be kind of scaled back, maybe a phantom IL stint for him even. Could happen to Woodruff, but it really hasn't happened yet, right? And so it's kind of hard to say, oh, this is going to be – I mean, there's still, 26 days to go. Like, that's a little early to be closing up shop, right? With almost a month of baseball to play. Woodruff's their horse. So until I see them actually – scale him back or explicitly say they're going to, which I haven't read that, I'll kind of assume he's good to go. So I do like Woodruff quite a bit. I ended up going with Skubal and Sonny Gray in the cores with Woodruff right outside. So I don't, I'm just playing the one lineup. I don't have Woodruff, but I expect him to pitch well here for sure.
Expect Woodruff to pitch well. Anything, G Risen? Do you want anything from this game?
No, I like Woodruff, and I don't really care for any of the bats here. I mean, Wheeler does scare me. He just, if anything, I might look at the Brewers over team total, which is like 3.5, I believe. I may look at that as a bet, but yeah, I'm not a fan of any of these bats.
Just stick a fork in it. Let's get rid of it. DC, are you taking care of the premium chat, dude? Is that
I have it in there? Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure someone's taking care of our
Our
premium subscribers. Guys, if you got any questions, we will absolutely take them over here. So the free chat, if you're not a subscriber, we will still answer your questions today. We got a little extra time. We got one more game to go to. And since it's free, I will continue to remind you about our premium content at 2:00 Eastern today. We will be announcing, Big T will be here, and you can watch the show. He'll be announcing all our live shows Monday through Friday, 2:00 Eastern, every day, NFL content, videos, maybe some bang plays will come back. We've got podcasts. I mean, G Risen, how exciting is this? Should we tell, listen, if we get to 200 likes, should we tell the other person that's on our show? Huh? How about that? We get to 200 and we will break the news on the other old person joining us. And it's pretty big. It's not just you and me and Big T anymore. So if we get
who
to 200,
do we get to abuse? That's all I want to know. Who do we get to abuse? Who are we going to get to?
You think this person's coming on? We're going to abuse them?
Oh,
okay,
why not?
Good.
Hey, we're the old wily veterans. They're
You're
coming
right.
on. We're gonna have to break
You're
them
right. You're right. All right, we get to 200. We'll announce it. We don't get to 200. Whatever. We'll keep it until we do the show with Big T today. RPS NFL 15. That promo code gets you 15% off your monthly sub for life. The life of your subscription. As long as we're around, you're around, you get it. Tons of NFL content coming. So the code only works until the NFL starts. All right. Let's. By the way, G Risen, 0 thumbs up since we talked about that. 0 Zippy. Absolutely nothing. So nobody. Oh, we got 1. So they really don't give a shit.
We've got 1 like in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. I mean, it was heavy. It was heavy for a while. I'm actually kind of impressed that we've got this many watching and liking, anyways. But that's fine. And you're taking care of the questions on the premium side, which is good. Are we not playing Glaber on Labor Day? Glaber Day.
I mean, But by all means, yeah. Wouldn't be my reason to choose him, but hey.
This is terrific.
Yeah.
All right. We got one more game to get to, and then your questions, and then we'll be all done, and then we'll move on, and we'll wait for 2:00. Yes. Yeah. You're welcome for that, D Smith. All right, D Smith. Yeah. It was a wonderful, wonderful one. The last game of the day, Cincinnati and the Cubs. So the Reds and the Cubs, Sonny Gray. And who's the pitcher du jour for the Cubs today? We got Justin Steele for 5 innings, probably. DC, give us a little rundown on Steele and if the Reds are a good team to go up against him. By the way, that offense has just been, it was cold for so long. Are they back on track?
The Reds?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still a little bit cold. No Joey Votto today either. Kind of hurts the lineup, but I still do like them a little bit. Steele, I just don't think he's going to be very good. You know, we don't have a huge sample size on him, but I think he's going to get hit hard by right-handed bats, you know, the rest of the way until he changes his arsenal a little bit. So I do like this Reds lineup. They've got 8 straight right-handed hitters, and then the pitcher, obviously. So kind of surprised their total is where it is, sitting at 4.4. Some respect for Steele there, but I think the Reds are sneaky here. And yeah, I mean, even the Cubs have come alive a little bit. You know, Schwindel's been on fire. Ian Happ starting to hit. So it's not quite the cakewalk of a matchup against the Cubs that we saw, you know, those first couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks when they traded Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez, like pitchers were just murdering the Cubs. And it's still a very, very high strikeout matchup for sure. So I still really, really like Sonny Gray, but not quite as safe as it used to be. But anyway, yeah, I'm on the red side here. You know, you can get him around minus 150. I like that a lot. I like Gray to perhaps be the overall SP1, lead this slate in strikeouts. I think is very much in the cards for him. And yeah, I like the Reds offense as a sneaky one as well. I don't think many people will play them, but I think they've got quite a bit of upside.
What do you got here, G Rison?
Yeah, I like the Reds. I actually bet the Reds in the first five innings today. So I really like Sonny Gray. I don't think the Cubs are going to get to him. Yeah, I'm not interested in any Cubs, but I could see maybe throwing in some Reds today. I'm just not a fan of that lineup up and down. I mean, they got Asdrubal Cabrera hitting in the 5-hole. I mean, what is he on his 3rd or 4th team? It seems like already. I just think the Reds are rolling out a Sunday type lineup that's just not really that strong. But yeah, I like Sonny Gray here. I'm not really a fan of any of the bats.
All right, all the cores are up, guys. Everything's there. G Rison, talk about yours. You got Woodruff on the hill. So how'd you land on Woodruff again? And then a little Mets, a little Royals, and some JD Martinez.
Yes, sir. So I have Woodruff. I think he's got the highest upside. And with the bats I like, when I used 3 Royals, I had Merrifield, and then I had Olivares and Salvador Perez, and then I threw some Mets around it, and then I got the one off of JD. So pretty much told y'all my whole team, but hey, I think it's going to win me some money today. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it was an accident. You didn't purposefully do that. DC, you got a core today?
I do, yeah. It's up on the
playbook,
which we're sharing cores right now, right? So I can go.
Yeah, we are sharing cores on the free show today.
Yeah, I'm going with Sonny Gray and Tarek Skubal.
Okay.
Talked about them a bunch, and in the Royal stack. So I have kind of an order of the guys I want to pay for: Perez, Merrifield, Olivares, and Carlos Santana. I would throw in a 5th in there as well. I think you could go either Michael Taylor or Hunter Dozier. I slightly prefer Taylor, but I think it's close between those two. And then I like the Mets. VR, kind of in order of where I want to target them: VR, Baez, Lindor, Alonso, Pilar, Kevin Pillar would be kind of how I would rank them. So yeah, core, just to wrap it all up: Sonny Gray, Tarek Skubal, Merrifield, Perez, Olivares, Carlos Santana, and Jonathan VR.
So I just found this article from the Tampa Bay Times, tampabay.com, and they're talking about how depleted the Rays bullpen is after yesterday. And they usually use the opener for Yarbrough, right? And today they're just going to go out and try and get as much out of Yarbrough as possible. So does that change anything for you guys? And this is, again, it's just an article. You came in, you already knew what the workload does, but with the Rays really wanting to push Yarbrough as far as they can so they don't have to go to the pen, does that change anything for you on the Red Sox side, DC?
A little bit. I'm looking at kind of the Rays bullpen usage. I think like Colin McHugh is their best reliever. He hasn't pitched in 4 days, so I think you'll get 2 innings out of him. And Yarbrough, I think, is capable of going 5 strong, right? So you get maybe 2 from McHugh if it's close, and then you kind of piece it together from there. Like Kittredge has only pitched once in the last couple of days, so I think they'll be okay. I think the Rays will get through this one. If they have to burn through the bullpen again, then these next couple of days, I would be more apt to kind of say, oh, they're really running out of pitchers. But I think they can get through this game decently well as long as Yarbrough, gets through the first few innings.
All right, 22 more likes to find out the new addition to the Old Guys Pod, the Wishbone. A lot of you were not subscribers at this time last year, and we had a lot of fun on that pod. Uncle T's hot. He's on fire. We basically just destroy each other and give some winners at the end. I know the Young Guys Pod is going to start up too. I think we're going to do it Wednesdays. Titletown, Rubio, and me. And I don't know if they're throwing another one, but we'll find out at 2:00 when Big T comes on here to announce the schedule for the 2021 NFL season at Run Pure Sports. I know there's tons of Showdown content too. I'd never really played Showdown until last year. And then, Tony and Rubio, all those guys, they just, JSU put their cores up there. It was actually a really successful Showdown grouping for me last year. So I was kind of happy about that, to be honest with you. Any questions? We'll be happy to get to those. No doubt about it. And then I can't believe, AP is shocking me. Every day, AP, the Royals homer, he has Perez and Merrifield and all these guys from the Royals in his lineup. All he's playing today is Salvi Perez. I mean, he's going full Met stack. So G Risen, you brought up the Mets. Everybody at Run Pure seems to love the Mets. Just love them.
Well,
It's
Pat,
not
I
even
think
close.
it's just
And you only got 2 in your core.
We all know that Patrick Corbin sucks, and you need to attack him at all costs, especially with righties. And the Mets have been hitting really well. I mean, it's pretty easy to see. I can't argue with the Mets. I think their lineup's really good up and down. So yeah, like I said, they were my number 1 stack coming in. I did bump the Orioles down just a little bit just because of that shitty lineup they rolled out.
Did you have any one-offs?
What's that?
Did you have any one-offs from them?
I do have one one-off, and on one of my lineups, and I use Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
I like Mullins as a one-off for Baltimore, especially leading off. I like Mullins if I had to choose a one-off.
You like Mullins if you had to choose a one-off. Who's your favorite one-offs today, DC?
I like the Yankees as one-offs. That big power in Yankee Stadium. I think people won't really go to them all that often against Ryu. So give me, a Judge, a Stanton, Gary Sanchez. I don't really like the Yankees stack, but I wouldn't be shocked to get a double dong right out of one of those guys at fairly low ownership. So the Yankees power right-handers, I think, my favorite one-offs today.
Did you get to most of those questions in there? Like
I think I've pretty much got them all. Yep.
Lane Thomas. I actually got a question. I want you to hear you guys answer this. Thoughts on Soto as a one-off on FanDuel? I mean, obviously Soto's always in play, but at that price point on FanDuel, what is he? G Risen, he's 4.3. Like if you're using a one-off at 4.3K on FanDuel, how many better guys are there than Juan Soto, who either walks or hit a home run these days? That's all he does.
Yeah.
Nobody.
He's still playing awesome baseball, right? Like if you watch him play, he's having a great time. Like he doesn't care that the team's in the tank. He just loves playing ball. And like you mentioned, he's not gonna. A part of the problem with playing him is he doesn't sacrifice his baseball principles. If it's balls like 2 inches off the plate, he's taking it 3-2 and walking to first base, and it's great for his OPS in real life and all that, but kind of frustrating when you're paying top dollar for the guy and he's taking so many walks or pitching around him. So I love the matchup for him. I still think his floor is just about as high as anyone's on the slate, but in baseball GPPs, we're not really looking for floor, right? We're looking for ceiling, and that's the concern with Soto. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a totally fine play if you want to go there.
What about the Frank Schwindel train? I mean, have you guys looked at this dude's?
He's been insane. Yeah. I mean,
insane. He's hit a home run in 3 straight and 6 of 7. That's almost impossible to do.
Yeah. Tough
Yeah,
matchup
you're just
against Sonny
because
Gray.
you got Gray.
Yeah, he doesn't give up many home runs, high strikeout guy, which is Schwindel's biggest problem. So matchup on paper sucks, but sometimes when you're as hot as Schwindel, it doesn't matter. So I think at 3,300, I don't have a problem with it. You're going to get big leverage too, because Gray's going to be very popular.
What do you think
Dude's
is
9 for
today?
13. That dude's 9 for 13 his last 3 games. It's unreal.
It's hard to argue with someone who's 9 for 13 with multiple home runs, right? It's like, okay, I mean, they're as hot as you can possibly get, basically. So,
and I was looking up Soto while you guys were talking. His last 50 at bats against right-handers, his WOBA is over 500.
He's playing insanely well. It's kind of going unnoticed because the Nationals are so bad, but he's not giving an inch, right? He's gonna have a strong end of the season, no question.
554 in his last 50 at bats against righties.
And that's with no protection, right? Like, and the whole team just in the tank, and he's just doing his thing better than ever. What a player.
Staring at the pitchers, grabbing his nutsack. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I do love it. It's awesome. It's awesome to watch. I love Juan Soto.
Watch Corbin throw a gem now. We the people.
Could happen.
It is baseball. It could happen. It is baseball. But you know what? I like to explain to my friends who are novice DFS players, like I can explain to you, like, it's like Hold'em. I can explain to you like good hands to start with. It doesn't mean you're going to win. You can get dealt aces all day and Jack 5 could beat you. So, shit happens. But over the long run, you try to be plus even, and that's what we try to do and try to put you in the positions.
What
to do so.
What if Corbin just shoves today? That's it. Then you just lose money. I mean, it's as simple as that. What are you going to do?
That's what beats me. That's what beats me.
You're just going to have to live with it.
Right. And I'm happy with my process. If it beats me, I move on to tomorrow.
I think we've all lived with a few bad days in our lives of poor gambling results. So we can live with one more if Corbin throws a gym today.
Sometimes it pisses you off more than others, though.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Baez definitely is at the top of your list today. Would you go Baez or Semien? I'll ask both of you guys that because that was my last decision. I'll tell you. Baez or Semien?
I would take Baez straight up.
What do you think? Baez?
Yep, Baez.
Yeah, that's the way I went. Man, this Orioles lineup is just so friggin' brutal. My goodness, man. I want to play our boy Cedric Mullins too. But you got him. You like him more on FanDuel because you play FanDuel, G Rising, right?
I like him on FanDuel
over there. Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, so we're 2 minutes from lock. Tyler Motter leadoff, 2.1K for Boston. Yeah, we talked about that, Jeffrey. I don't think anybody's going with Tyler Motter, are they? Low owned leadoff hitter though, and a good offense, guys.
I think he's a fine play. He'll probably get pinch hit for in this game is my concern with him, but if you need the savings, he's all right.
He's okay to do.
Yeah, I'd rather play Olivares for min price for Kansas City.
Yeah, I like him too.
You like him too. What do you guys got going on after this? What's the word? What do you got today? Baseball? You gonna do something else?
I've got a season-long NFL draft, an auction draft coming up in 27 minutes. That's here.
Fun.
So that'll be fun. Yeah.
That's fun. What do you got, G Rising?
Well, actually, the state fair is not too far. So I was thinking about going to eat some carny food, drink some beers, and smell some animals. So, I was thinking that might be on the docket today. I don't got
By
much
yourself?
Nah, me and the girlfriend are going to go check it out. Maybe get one of those big old elephant ears or something. That sounds good.
You guys just don't care about each other anymore, do you? If you're just going to take her to the county fair?
It's a state fair.
All right, excuse me. Okay, there you go. All right, that changes my opinion of it now because now it's a big time fair.
I mean, people watching is just prime there.
You take kids to a fair? You don't take a date to the fair.
We live together. We're not dating anymore. It's just something.
I don't agree with Holden's dating and life advice all that often, but I'm with him on this one. No state fair.
Oh, so DC anti-sex. Obviously, sex is horrible. That's basically my whole dating thing. Just have sex.
Well, I know, but then you always come on here and you say it didn't work out, or
sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. What are you going to do? You got to be honest.
Holden's playing the game Humpy Dumpy. That's what you should.
Yeah, you got to be honest with them. But like state fairs, you eat fried candy bars and get your face painted.
Oh man, who doesn't like a good caramel apple? Man, with nuts on it, that shit's good stuff.
Like shit. Will you get a face painting for me and put a picture in there? All right, we didn't get to our 200 likes, but don't worry about it. You'll find out. The new person in the Wishbone podcast, the Old Guys podcast, coming up at 2. Again, 2 o'clock Eastern. What is that? How long is that? An hour from now? Oh my God. You better hurry up. All right. Less than an hour from now, Tony's coming on to release the schedule. I'm excited about it. Simon, great work behind the scenes, of course. RPS NFL 15, RPS NFL 15, 15% off the life of your subscription when you sign up. So NFL, baseball, NBA's coming up. College football's been smashing. DC, G Rising, great stuff. Time for me to tell Simon, get us out of here.